guys, welcome to Oliveboard. Welcome to the session where we are going to discuss what all topics are very important for your upcoming phase 1 examination. Whatever we are going to see. So I am going to discuss over here the GA related portion, the 80 marks that we were talking about. We all know 80 marks are very crucial. After all, out of 200 marks, that is your 40% paper comes alone from your GA portion. So that means GA is very important. Now, what all to read? Like GA is very vast. To get those 80 questions correct, obviously nobody can do it. 5-10 questions will be here and there, and they are meant to be left. They are googly and they should not be attempted at all. Like the last year paper, there was questions about La Nina, El Nino. That has not to be attempted. But then, what all questions have to be attempted, and you should not be leaving it. That's what we are going to talk about in this session. So, before moving any further, I will talk about what all topics you have to read. But if you are not sure about that, if you will be able to read or not, then this is the batch that is apt for you. If you do not still have, like, the content is not available to you, then you must join it. But I'll talk about it later. Let's first talk about what all things you have to prepare for your GA portion. The first thing is ESI related topics, like your PIB, your government schemes, your reports, indices. Apart from that, from finance, RBI circulars, SEBI circulars, all the regulatory body circulars, they are important. Then general awareness. What all you have to read in general awareness, like your MOUs, if at all they have been signed, defense exercises, sports, Paris Olympic is going on. Definitely you must know kitne bronze hai, how much bronze, how much gold, if at all we have. What is, in fact, the players who have got this award, like in which category they were in, and you know what all medals they have got up till now, everything you should be clear of. But then we have our own human limits, and that's what is very important, that we should identify where we'll be, like how much we'll be able to remember. If I talk about PIB and finance, I would first ask you to cover up these topics. Reason, very simple. If I talk about ESI for your phase 1 last year and last to last year, like 30 questions were asked from your ESI, which comprise of your PIB related news, government schemes, as well as reports and indices. So 30 odd questions, they are very big, like in previous year and last to last year as well. From finance, RBI circulars, we all know. From, if you start from January month till your May month, June month, it'll just take like, you know, maybe 12 hours or maybe 13 hours to complete all the RBI circulars. We have already taken it. So finance, the number of questions in the last year, as I can just see, 15 to 17 questions, both the years, somewhere 15, somewhere 17 between that. Apart from that, if you see, there were certain static questions as well from economics, finance and all. They may seem static, ki pura syllabus utha ke pooch le, but then we have to be very sure. They were only asking what was there in news, like bond yield. It was there in news, they have put up a question on that, and it was very simple. If you know the very basics of it, you would have able to you would have able to attempt it. But now let's see what are the various topics that you have to cover. So GA portion for your phase 1, national and international news, very important. State news and schemes, see, not in detail, like the schemes that we do for the central part, the central sector, centrally sponsored scheme. There we have to focus upon multiple dimensions. But in state news, you just have to focus on the name of the state, and after that you just need to see what is the purpose of that scheme. That's it. Then government schemes, obviously, I'll tell you what all ministries you need to focus. Defense news, at least cover last 3 to 4 months minimum. Reports and indices, very important. Banking and economy related news, GDP forecast. So I have already given you a table from where you can actually, you can update that table as and when there is an update from IMF or World Bank or Asian Development Bank. RBI, what it says, 7.2% GDP. So that's all that you have to remember. That can be asked and have been asked in PYQs as well. Appointments, recent appointments, 3 to 4 months at least, minimum I am talking. So it's repetition. Important days, awards, some sports. We all know sports are very important this time. Paris Olympics, I've already told you. Annual surveys, your budget, because budget was out very close to your exam. You will have questions on budget, that's for sure. Economic survey, very important. Again, RBI annual report, yes. Apart from that, financial stability report, all these surveys which were there in news, like in the couple of months, 5 to 6 months, you have to cover it. RBI circulars, as I've already told you, last year 15 to 17 questions straight from RBI circulars. That's what the importance of circular is. Lastly, finance, current affairs, and finance related news, business, sometimes your business study, your business times, economic times, they cover certain news that you have to cover. Now, how you have to remember? This is the very big question. Ma'am, yaad kaise rakhe? Itni sari defense exercises, that's true. Now, how you can remember is, you can make a table like this. Either you can make a table like this by your hand as well. I have taken the help of ChatGPT, but you can use it. Like you can make a handmade table that is more relevant. Yaad bahut time tak rahega agar aap haath se likhoge. That is the key. You can make a similar kind of table for appointments as well. Last minute revision. And apart from that, MCQ solving is must. And that's where, in the, what more MCQs you solve, more revision it will be there. Now for government schemes, I'll be telling you close to 100 plus government schemes that you have to cover. But then how are you going to remember it? Like we have seen recently, there was a change in your Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Jan Aushadhi Kendra, where the government is now telling to open 25,000 kendras. So now, because there is a change in this year's budget, you can expect a question from it. But then there are so many schemes. How much you will be able to remember? This is how you can actually remember. For certain schemes where you know that you are going to get confused. Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin, Awas Yojana Urban, Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana, Jeevan Bima Yojana, you can just make a table. On one table, you can write everything that you feel that it's important and you should remember it. So that's how, even in the classes, we try to cover the schemes. After that, certain portion of ESI static, like I have told you, 5 to 7 questions were there from static, very straightforward, very easily, you'll be able to excel it. So the questions can be from all these topics, like, national income accounting. What are the ways to measure your national income? Economic reforms, 5-year plan, Niti Aayog related questions can be there. In fact, since your 16th Finance Commission is in news, question can be from there as well. If I talk about balance of payment, monetary policy, fiscal policy, these are very simple topics. Once covered, you are good to go. Employment generation, poverty elevation. International economic institutions, we all know last year there were questions from World Bank, IMF. It can be again, World Trade Organization, 13th Ministerial Conference has happened just now, G20 meeting, India was the chair of it last year. So all these topics you can expect a question. In fact, BIMSTEC charter has been signed. So I hope you can understand whatever there is in news, accordingly, you have to prepare your static part as well. Then regional economic cooperation, just as I've told you, BRICS Plus has been formed, BIMSTEC charter is there. So that's all you have to remember. If I talk about government schemes, ideally, you should be starting from Ministry of Finance. Going for RBI, Ministry of Finance is the key. Then RBI, obviously RBI related scheme like your PIDF or your Ombudsman scheme and all, they are also important. For Ministry of Finance, these are the important list of schemes that you must cover at least once before going to the exam. Like PM Mudra, I have written it at the first spot because there was a change in the budget. Then Stand Up India scheme, PM Jan Dhan, it has completed 10 years, important. News because of their remarkable achievements. Jeevan Jyoti Suraksha Bima, they have been there in news and they are important. Sovereign Gold Bond scheme, it has just completed its 8 years. That's why important.
And ma'am, there are various students who also ask that there is, I am having confusion between multiple schemes. At that time, what should they do while preparation? What is the strategy which they can use while doing the same schemes?
So first of all, I would always suggest to revise from the same document. Revision is very important. After that, MCQs, utterly important. After that, if you can make your own differentiated table, that would be great. Otherwise, I also provide that in class. Like, I know where the schemes, in which schemes you will actually get confused. So I already provide that either in the mind map form or in the table format. I provide it in the class itself. MCQs are must, sir. If you really want to check upon that how much you were able to retain, MCQs are the key. So that's how ideally, sir, you will be able to remember it. Next, RBI specific scheme, like your LRS, Liberalized Remittance Scheme. You will find this not only in your phase 1, but also in your phase 2, because LRS related changes have been done. in your IFSC, there are certain changes from LRS we have discussed about in the classes itself. So that's why it's important. PIDF, it's important because Vishwakarma scheme has been linked to it. PM Swanidhi has been linked to it. So that's why, you should be covering it. It was there in news. Ministry of Education, if I talk about, yes, from your syllabus, last year, they have eliminated health and education word. But still, social issues are there. They talk about social infrastructure. How can you talk about social infrastructure or social issues without talking about education and health? So they are prime topic. Maybe they have just eliminated the name per se, but the schemes are important. Like your Pradhan Mantri PM Shri Yojana, important. It was there in news and it's important. STARS project funded by World Bank, obviously it will be there important for you. Nishtha, Shreyas, PM Usha, National Means Cum Merit Scholarship Scheme. So all these we have covered in the class itself. Then obviously social justice is there in your syllabus. So ministry which is talking about social justice also remains important. PM Daksh, Shresht, Yashasvi, Shreyas scheme. So, in the class, I have already given a tabular form for Shreyas, Yashasvi, Shresht, because I know you'll be getting confused in this. So already provided in the notes. Atal Abhyodaya Abhiyan, PM Ajay, they are the umbrella scheme. If you just study PM Ajay, Atal Abhyodaya Abhiyan, that means you have studied all the schemes which are there under your Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. Namaste scheme, Smile scheme, these are important schemes. Then for Ministry of Women and Child Development, you can just see these are the 2-3 schemes that are important. For your this year's, I would say, phase 1, from Health and Family Welfare, Ayushman Bharat. Under Ayushman Bharat, we have Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana. We have Pradhan Mantri, your Ayushman Bharat Infrastructure Mission, your digital mission. So all that have to be covered. Your Ayushman cards, what is the total number of digits that are there in Ayushman card? Important. Telemanas, it was there in news because of the achievement that it have got. Then National Mission on to eliminate sickle cell anemia, Rashtra Arogya Nidhi. These are important. Rashtra Arogya Nidhi was there in news because in the budget speech itself, your finance minister has mentioned it. In your Ministry of Rural Development, Day NRLM, it's anywhere important. Like this year, Indian Bank has been chosen as the nodal bank for this Day NRLM. So it's important. MG Narega, it's always important. In fact, in your NABARD, there was a full answer writing, like a descriptive answer writing on MG Narega. So, these schemes are anyways very important. Awas Yojana, rural, there have been a change. It is important. Gram Sadak Yojana, again, there have been an update on this. It becomes important. Sansad Adarsh Gram Yojana, we have discussed about Sansad Adarsh Gram Yojana because it is somewhere similar to your MP lads. We have discussed in the class itself. So I have given it in a tabular form so that you are able to understand what is the difference between it. And difference yaad karoge to apne aap wo scheme yaad ho hi jayegi. For your housing and urban affairs, see PM Swanidhi, it's very important. Amrut scheme, utterly important. PM E-Bus Seva, it was rolled out very recently. That's why important. Your Awas Yojana Urban, as I've told you, urban may be change aaya hai, rural may be change aaya hai. So these both the schemes, because of budget, they are now in limelight. They are important. Swachh Bharat Mission, anyways, it was important. It's an important scheme for your cities as well as your rural areas. Agriculture after a number of ministries, but I would also like to tell you multiple schemes, multiple questions were there from your agriculture ministry as well in your phase 1 and also in your phase 2 also. Because there have been a change in this farmer producer organization related, the number of FPOs will be increased in the times to come. This is what the announcement is. So it becomes important. Fasal Bima Yojana, Krishi Sinchai, Agriculture Infrastructure Fund, Kisan, PM Kisan, which state has got the maximum number of money from this PM Kisan. Wo important hai. That was there in news. It was there in your PIB in the month of May. So all these data, that was there with respect to the scheme. Not only the scheme static part, but also the current affair portion of this schemes. Like where were the maximum allocations being done? So that is important. Soil health card scheme, it's important. RKB by Raftar, it's obviously important. Now, because this year's your agriculture portion, the budget, it talks about that government wants to focus upon your natural farming. Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana, it's an umbrella scheme. It becomes highly important. Then National Mission on Edible Oil, Oil Palm, We are having, this partnership with multiple other countries like your Mauritius and all for this oil palm and all. तो वो important है, आ सकता है. MIDH mission for integrated development of horticulture. It was there in news. There have been an update in this scheme as well. So that's why I have written it over here. For fisheries, Gokul mission, we also have a Gokul award. Government ने अभी award नहीं दिया है, but yes, they are telling that according to that, we are going to disburse the, we are going to give the award. So awards and the mission both are important. This scheme was rolled out recently, very recently, this year itself. That's why important. PM Matsya Sampada Yojana, anyways, it's important. FIDF, your fisheries infrastructure development fund, animal husbandry infrastructure development fund, and dairy infrastructure development fund. I know that here it's too much to learn. So that's why in this way also I have given a table in the class itself so that you can revise it from the table. एक table देखोगे, एक ही पेज पे सब कुछ लिखा है तो याद हो जाएगा उसको बार-बार देखने पे. Then it's your labor and employment, MNRE. MNRE में this Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana, very recently in the month of February only, it was like announced by our Prime Minister. So it's important. National Green Hydrogen Mission, it's also very important. Reason being, it was there in news from quite a long time now. It has been in news every month. Every month, one or the other way, it has remained in news. Important. Ministry of Power. So that's also important. For your heavy and public enterprise, this scheme was rolled recently. It has been extended recently till the month of September. That's why it holds relevance. For your Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Unnati was there in news. Remission of duties and taxes on exported products, that was there in news. Reason I've already told you. The earlier scheme, we earlier had MEIS, which was WTO non-compliant. So that's why we brought forward this ROTTEP scheme. And, it's WTO compliant and it's important as well. It was there in news. Your MSME, PM Vishwakarma, PM EGP, your RAM scheme has been like little upgraded this year. So that's important. Your lean scheme, MSME lean scheme and MSME team scheme. So that's important because recently on 27th of June, we have celebrated International MSME Day. On that, multiple schemes have been rolled out. And one of them is lean team and Yashasvi, something like that. So all these are important. We have discussed it in the class itself. Ministry of Defense, IDEX, Aditi, Agnipath scheme, Agniveers and all. It was in news. You should at least give it a reading once. For Ministry of Defense, I would tell you, it's just important for your phase 1. Phase 2, you will not get any question on this at least. For Jal Shakti, Jal Jeevan Mission, Atal Bhujal Yojana, your Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin, they are important. Chemical and fertilizers, though I would not have written Chemical and Fertilizer Ministry altogether, but because there has been a change in this PM BJP, that's why it's important. Then Tribal Affairs, very, very, very important ministry. PM Janman, last year there was a question on this, like on this Ministry of Tribal Affairs. In your phase 2, you can expect a very small question in phase 1 as well. We have PM Janman, we have PM other related tribal affairs schemes that were there in news. Every scheme from PM, your tribal affairs, if it's rolled out a day before or maybe a week before the exam itself, to usko bhi cover karke jana, that also remains important. Do cover Eklavya model, EMRS and Yashasvi schemes difference, because both the schemes are important. Yashasvi is by Ministry of Social Justice and EMRS is by Tribal Affairs. Not same hai, but yes, there is a difference that you have to remember that I have covered in the class as well. Ministry of Minority Affairs, PM Vikas. PM Vikas earlier, that means you have started all the schemes. It's an umbrella scheme. For your skill development, entrepreneurship, I hope you have read the budget. PM package has been announced. In that PM package, 3 schemes are there from your employment, for your employment directly, and 2 schemes are there for your skill development. So all those schemes have to be covered. Now let's talk about certain very important reports as well as indices. So we'll start from RBI's report. I have covered all the reports in the classes. You can just go and check it out. All these reports are important. The data which is being covered in this report, that also holds a lot of relevance. For World Bank, these are the 4-5 reports. Try to cover it. World Bank is written in your syllabus as well. Your RBI syllabus mentions World Bank and IMF. So the schemes or the reports which are specifically coming out of these organizations, they are important. World Economic Forum, your global competitiveness report, gender gap report, global risk report. If you're not able to go in depth of this, at least remember that these 4 or 5 reports, they are being published by World Economic Forum. What is India's rank? That is what is important. Then UNCTAD report, World Investment Report. From certainly the reports from UNCTAD, you should remember that, they were talking about the debt to GDP ratio of India and other countries. You should have an idea about it. For UNDP, Global Multidimensional Poverty Index, very important. Whenever you are covering globally MPI, you should always compare it with national MPI for better retention. Then we have Gender Inequality Index, Human Development Report, very, very, very important. You must cover it. India Employment Report, it's important. World Economic and Social Outlook trends. From the trends, ideally, you should just go forward with certain important trends that have been covered in the class. Each and every topic need not be covered. Then for other report that were there in news, out of them, some of them I have jotted it down. But if I have to mark most important, I would say this and this, because it came in the month of July only. You should cover both the reports holistically and in such a way that you are comparing it, like, what all factors have been covered in your SDSN, by your SDSN, and then by your Niti Aayog. So SDG index, it's important. Hunger index as well as World Happiness Report. Both the reports are very important. So cover it. And these are some reports. Budget, economic survey, that obviously you have to cover. Household consumption expenditure survey, this is important because government on the basis of this is going to change the CPI weightage as well as the base year. So you need to cover it. At the end, I would just like to tell you, there is too much to be covered. If you feel that you do not have everything at one place, I would not ask you to now start, collecting the things, straight away practicing the MCQs. It will not do much thing. MCQ practice karke fayda tabhi hai that at least you know 40-50% of certain things. Otherwise, it will be very tricky. You will also get anxious. So the best part would be join the course. Simple. Time waste क्यों करना? Why do you waste your time on searching the topics ki kaun si scheme kahan se cover kare? Simply everything is being provided in the course itself. At least it's not scattered. 15-20 days mein everything would be covered at one place. You will get everything. It's just one thing that you have to do. Attend the classes and revise it after the class. Multiple revision will help you out. More than 2000 MCQs are covered in this. It will be very helpful. One more thing. Aditya sir, we all know, he's very good. His track record is the best, I would say. Whatever questions he is going to do, I am telling you, out of them, maximum questions will be there. Banking, finance, definitely. Surat sir is going to take top MCQs, the most expected ones. Pooja ma'am, normal GA portion, the GA of appointments, defense exercises and all. She'll take through MCQs, obviously. I will take your PIB related and certainly some of your RBI circulars as well. Though RBI circulars will also be taken by your Aditya sir. Now, certain topics, like I have told you, 5 to 6 questions were there from static. So these are the static topics from your finance that you should be covering, like functions of regulated entities, your financial institutions, your derivatives, your bonds, your financial inclusion, your income statement, balance sheet, cash flow, and ratio. You can just skip it for the time being. Maybe phase 1 may not, but yes, functions of regulated entities, definitely. SEBI, where is it headquartered at? NABARD, if there is some important update regarding NABARD, that has to be covered. Inflation, CPI, WPI, we must know the basics that you have to cover. If I talk about most important circulars, though I have covered it in the class itself, you need to cover all these circulars. Like these are the RBI circulars. I have also taken a class on SEBI circulars, so you can cover it from there as well. And one more thing, from the circular side also, the ROI, the return on the time that you are putting it in these in these circulars, it's very high. So I would ask you that cover them, the most important thing would be to cover them as soon as possible. It's very easy to cover. Dikhne mein term bahut mushkil lag sakti hai, but then the core part of it that you have to remember, it's very easy, super easy, I would say. very easily you will be able to score out of the 15 questions, if at all they come, like the PYQ if I talk about, you would easily able to answer 14 questions. So the ROI is very high. You must bank upon it. Again, guys, agar RBI circular se related bhi, if you feel that you do not have a content at one place means which is you are going to revise for the next 20 days, I would say this is what you should go for. What do you say, sir? Because if now you are like searching for the content and now MCQ practice kar rahe ho, this is the MCQ mein to solution is also not provided properly. So I
Correct.
feel this is the thing.
And also, I think that from last 6 to 8 months, Lakshmi ma'am, Pooja ma'am, and all of our faculties are taking the daily current affairs GA sessions also. PIB rehne do, government schemes rehne do, every session. Now the point is that to go after every one video and revising that becomes really very tedious. लक्ष्मी मैम का अगर एग्जांपल लेते हो, अगर आप उनके किसी भी पीआईबी और गवर्नमेंट स्कीम का अगर रिवीजन करने जाते हो, how you are going to revise those 6 to 8 months of all the lectures? So it becomes really very difficult. But what if I tell you that whatever 6 to 8 months she has taken questions on RBI circulars, on PIB, on government scheme, what if we tell you that those 1000 MCQs she is going to take in this course? So I think सारी चीजें एक जगह पर कोलेटेड मिल जाएंगी आप, एंड बिफोर 8th of September यू विल बी सो कॉन्फिडेंट कि 2000 MCQ करके जा रहा हूं, तो एक अलग ही कॉन्फिडेंस होगा. तो मैम इज सेइंग रियली वेरी वेरी करेक्ट विच शी इज ट्राइंग टू टेल. अभी अगर टाइम अपना कोलेशन और कलेक्शन में अगर वेस्ट करोगे, हार्डली देन इट विल बी हेल्पफुल टू यू टू सॉल्व दोज MCQs. एंड जस्ट रैंडम MCQs से कभी किसी का मतलब ना तो स्कोर अच्छा होता है और ना ही कॉन्फिडेंस आपको मिलेगा.
Exactly. That's all from my side. Now, Surat sir is going to tell about the other topics for your phase 1 exam. So,
Yeah. So I will start the discussion for phase 1, but before that, I would like to share something with all of you. So one thing which I am, yeah, is my screen visible? Yeah, I hope that my screen is visible, I guess. So we will be looking at the most important topics for quant and reasoning, because as complete GA has been covered by Lakshmi ma'am, which is PIB, government scheme, ESI current affairs important topic, finance current affairs important topic, finance static important topic, everything has been covered. आई थिंक ये वाले सेशन में लक्ष्मी मैम ने तो एक्चुअली बता दिया कि एग्जाम में क्या आने वाला है. लिटरली लाइक ऑल दिस टॉपिक्स आर रियली वेरी दोज टॉपिक्स. और मैम ने साथ ही साथ में ये भी बता दिया कि व्हाई दिस टॉपिक इज गोइंग टू कम अप. ऐसे रैंडमली नहीं बताया. अब नाउ वन मोर थिंग वेयर मैम इन द सेशन वाज सेइंग दैट आई हैव कवर्ड दिस इन दिस वे. नाउ देयर वुड बी सर्टेन स्टूडेंट हु वाज कनेक्टेड टू अस. यूट्यूब वीडियोस वो लगातार देखते आ रहा था, but now he wants to revise all of them. For them, we have launched a very special revision pack, which is nothing but we have launched 6 months 3 magazine. यहाँ पर आप पीछे देख सकते हो गवर्नमेंट स्कीम्स की 6 हर एक मंथ की सेपरेट मैगजीन कंपाइलेशन, गवर्नमेंट स्कीम्स के 6 months की कंपाइलेशन, देन आपके पीआईबी के 6 months के कंपाइलेशन, and then आपके GA, that is current affairs के 6 month के compilation. 3 magazines are there from January 2024 to August of 2024. आपको 6 months का पूरा current affairs and the price is just 999. तो if you are a student who followed us diligently, या फिर अब तक आपके पास कोई भी नोट्स, आप सेल्फ स्टडी कर रहे थे, आपके पास कोई भी नोट्स नहीं है पीआईबी कवर करने के लिए, ESI करंट अफेयर्स कवर करने के लिए, करंट अफेयर्स कवर करने के लिए, गवर्नमेंट स्कीम कवर करने के लिए, आई थिंक दिस 3 मैगजीन पैक्स कैन डेफिनेटली हेल्प यू. एक पीआईबी की पूरी मैगजीन पैक रहेगी जिसमें 6 month का पूरा पीआईबी मिलेगा. एक गवर्नमेंट स्कीम की पूरी मैगजीन रहेगी जिसमें 6 month का पूरा गवर्नमेंट स्कीम मिलेगा. और एक करंट अफेयर्स की मैगजीन ऐसी रहेगी 6 month का पूरा करंट अफेयर्स मिलेगा. और
so
सारी
phase
चीजें
2 के लिए हेल्पफुल रहेगा ना?
Yes, it is helpful for both phase 1 and phase 2 because these magazines have been prepared by all of our teachers, not considering कि हम बस phase 1 के लिए बना रहे या फिर हम phase 2 के लिए बना रहे. It is all about कि this year for RBI, SEBI, NABARD, what are the important current affairs which are related, क्योंकि सारी एग्जाम्स के लिए ये मैगजीन्स हेल्पफुल है. नाउ सेकंड थिंग इज हाउ टू गेट दिस मैगजीन्स. तो आपको कुछ नहीं करना है, यू हैव टू गो ऑन ऑलिवबोर्ड वेबसाइट. As you will go on Oliveboard website, you will go in RBI section and you will go to, you will scroll at the bottom. नीचे जाकर आपको बहुत सारे RBI के नोट्स, टेस्ट्स मिलेंगे. तो जहां पर RBI के टेस्ट्स वहां पर अवेलेबल है, वही नीचे एक नया सेक्शन ऐड किया गया है. वहां पर आपको सारी ये मैगजीन्स मिल जाएंगी. ओके, सो दिस रिवीजन पैक, आई थिंक, go and find more details related to that. This is a one of a kind thing which we have launched and we are getting huge response from the candidates. क्योंकि आपको 6 मंथ की एक ही मैगजीन हम प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं जिसमें सारे 6 मंथ के पीआईबी कवर्ड है, 6 मंथ का करंट अफेयर्स कवर्ड है. तो इससे ज्यादा आपको क्या चाहिए? तो लक्ष्मी मैम जो कह रही थी लेक्चर्स में कि मैंने ये कवर किया है इस मई मंथ में, तो वो शायद से आपको इस मैगजीन्स के थ्रू मिलेगा. ओके, सो लेट्स स्टार्ट नाउ आवर डिस्कशन फॉर क्वांट. सो ओवरऑल जब मैं क्वांट की बात करता हूँ, आई हैव ऑल्सो सेग्रीगेटेड द टॉपिक्स between single statement based and complex statement based और ह्यूज पैराग्राफ बेस्ड. क्योंकि क्वांट में हम ये बता तो सकते हैं कि क्या टॉपिक रिकरिंग या फिर रिपीटेबल है, पर हम ये नहीं कभी बता सकते कि कौन सा टॉपिक इजी आने वाला है और कौन सा डिफिकल्ट आने वाला है. नोबडी कैन टेल दैट. बट येस, देयर आर सर्टन टॉपिक इन क्वांट सच एज सिंप्लीफिकेशन, नंबर सीरीज, फिर आपका क्वाड्रेटिक इक्वेशन, परसेंटेज, रेशियो एंड अरिथमेटिक इजी जो लेवल का होता है, जिसमें फिर से आपका टाइम, स्पीड, डिस्टेंस, टाइम एंड वर्क, प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस, सिंपल इंटरेस्ट, कंपाउंड इंटरेस्ट, ये सारी चीजें लेकिन इजी लेवल के होते. नाउ दिस सिंगल स्टेटमेंट बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस व्हिच आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट, दीज आर समथिंग कि आपको सिंगल लाइनर ही रहेगा और वो एक ही क्वेश्चन रहेगा. वेरएज पैराग्राफ बेस्ड या फिर मल्टी स्टेटमेंट बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस ऐसे रहेंगे, एक पैराग्राफ दिया जाएगा, उस पैराग्राफ के ऊपर 4 से लेके 5 क्वेश्चंस रहेंगे. इफ यू सॉल्व दैट पैराग्राफ कंप्लीटली, तो और अगर आपने एक्यूरेटली सॉल्व किया, करेक्ट सॉल्व किया, तो शायद से आपके 4 के 4, 5 के 5 क्वेश्चंस करेक्ट हो जाएंगे. So you have to understand that how you are going to manage, most importantly how and which questions you are going to solve and which questions you are going to skip, because you cannot actually tell that single statement question is difficult or easy or not, or paragraph based question is easy or difficult or not. So for quant, if I try to tell you, you will find multiple statement based questions, but one thing I can tell you that DI and arithmetic, for DI always in RBI Grade B phase 1 exam you will find 2 or 3 DIs, मतलब 2 या 3 पैराग्राफ आपको DI के मिलेंगे. उसमें से एक पैराग्राफ, 1 DI question is easy to moderate, rest 2 are very difficult in nature. There have been times and even my friends have done in such cases, they have solved just 1 DI, got 5 questions correct, then solved just 1 or 2 questions and they have cleared the quant section. ऐसा बहुत बार हुआ है. But there are also some people जिनको DI से completely डर लगता है and they only go for single statement based questions. So to show you the clear picture what is quant all about, we can discuss about this. So if you look at data interpretation, that is DI, what are the different topics which are there in DI? So caselet based DI होता है जहां पर multiple cases होते हैं. एक होता है टैबुलर, यानी कि टेबल दिया जाता है और बहुत मल्टीपल वेरिएबल्स होते हैं, 4 फ्रेंड्स, 4 टी-शर्ट्स, 4 प्लेसेस, ऐसे हो सकता है. एक होता है पाई चार्ट वाला. दिस DI इज वेरी वेरी क्रिटिकल, इट्स कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ ऑल. पाई चार्ट में दे विल गिव यू अ पाई चार्ट, पॉपुलेशन दे देंगे, सिटीज दे देंगे, फिर मेल फीमेल दे देंगे, एंड इन दिस वे दे विल ट्राई टू कॉम्प्लिकेट. सिमिलर गोज फॉर बार ग्राफ. सो सच फॉर्म ऑफ यू कैन कंसिडर कि ये जो डेटा इंटरप्रिटेशन की मैं बात कर रहा हूँ, देयर विल बी मल्टीपल वेरिएबल्स इन इट, एंड दैट इज व्हाई आई एम सेइंग केसलेट बेस्ड, कंपोजिट बेस्ड, टैबुलर बेस्ड. आपको दिख जाएगा 14 क्वेश्चंस. इसका मतलब 2 paragraphs had 5 questions and 1 paragraph had 4 questions. Then in 2022 also see 11, that means 2 DI were asked. In 2021 9, that means again 2 DIs were asked. So in this way DI always one like paragraph based DI which I'm talking about, always there are 10 plus questions. You can keep an average number of questions for a DI. So DI huge number के questions आ जाते हैं पेपर में. But what is the strategy here then? The strategy is very simple. From today, as less than 20 days are left, you should always try to solve 1 or 2 DIs. You should be that confident that in exam, if you are looking for any DI question, if you read and if you are having confidence that I personally think I can solve this DI, then definitely you should go for it. maybe you can try to solve that in last 10 minutes, but definitely that can really help you out to clear the sectional cutoff of quant in one shot. Because फॉर एग्जाम्पल सपोज आप सिंगल स्टेटमेंट बेस्ड क्वेश्चन सॉल्व कर रहे हो, आपको एक टाइम एंड स्पीड डिस्टेंस का सॉल्व करना पड़ेगा, आपको एक अरिथमेटिक सॉल्व करना पड़ेगा, आपको एक सिंपल इंटरेस्ट सॉल्व करना पड़ेगा. यहाँ पर इन डी है spend 1 to 2 minutes on solving that question only, and once you solve and make it clear, suppose आपका एक tabular DI है, if a tabular DI comes, if you solve it clearly, all 5 questions in one shot only will be solved. So that is the advantage of DI, but the problem is that इतने easily solve होता नहीं, so that requires a lot of practice. Second thing is arithmetic. There are arithmetic complicated questions also. Time, speed, distance हो गया, ratio हो गया. Then ages, average, percentage, fraction, simple interest, compound interest, partnership, mensuration. This is all arithmetic. What I've seen is that major students are comfortable with certain topics in arithmetic. I am good at, for example, averages. I love to solve averages. Ages, I love to solve ages. Simple interest, compound interest, I like to solve them. But at the same time, I always, this is my personal take, maybe for every student it will be really very different. But always I try to stay away from time, speed, distance. Time and work also I feel I'm comfortable with. But I try to keep away myself from time, speed, and distance. But in exam, sometimes time, speed, distance can come very, very easy question. So you have to prepare for all the topics. It may be your strength or weaker topic. Then quadratic equation is the important topic. Number series, number system, simplification, approximation, and data sufficiency. Data sufficiency is also very, very easy like topic. If you see data sufficiency, simple logical question kabhi kabar aa jata hai. Don't miss it if it comes. Because your aim should be, if the cutoff for last 5 years has never gone beyond 8 marks, or the target score for quant, if you are putting out to be 8 to 10 marks, then definitely you should solve those questions which easily you are solving them, and that also with a good speed and with great accuracy. तो solve करके अगले section में बढ़ जाओ. This was all related to quant. Now similarly for reasoning also same way, some topic or single statement based topics will be there and some complicated topics. So alphanumeric series, coding, decoding, syllogism, inequality, blood relations, direction sense, ranking and order, and machine output. These are your simple questions or moderate questions, I'll say, which come in exam. Now same like quant, in reasoning, puzzles, critical reasoning or logical reasoning, and sitting arrangement sometimes come difficult. Now the problem here is sitting arrangement आपको लगेगा easy है, but why it comes difficult is because maybe they try to complicate the question by addition of multiple topics. वो क्या करते हैं, मल्टीपल वेरिएबल दे देते, सिटिंग अरेंजमेंट में सर्कल बना देते, स्ट्रेट लाइन नहीं कर देते, या फिर हेक्सागोनल कर लेते. So anything they can do it, they can add multiple variables to complicate the questions. So in same way, let's try to look at the mark distribution of reasoning. अब रीजनिंग का भी देख लो. इफ यू सी पजल्स, हियर आल्सो सी फ्लोर बेस्ड पजल्स रहेंगे, मल्टीपल वेरिएबल बेस्ड पजल्स होते हैं. सेम वेज, फॉर एग्जांपल दिस पर्सन लाइक्स दिस डिश, वेयर्स दिस कलर टी शर्ट. ऐसे पजल्स डेफिनेटली रहते. Now this is also related to age and arrangement. Sometimes what they do is that they bring multiple topics and mix it together. So what they can do is that maybe arrangement, multiple variables, and any other topics such as maybe directions or blood relations. They can mix those topics and make a puzzle, because puzzle at the end is nothing but 2-3 topics combined. If you look at puzzles again here, 4 to 5 questions are asked every year in reasoning in RBI Grade B phase 1 exam. These 4 to 5 questions, in the sense, these are paragraphs, huge paragraphs. हर एक पैराग्राफ के ऊपर 5-5 क्वेश्चंस होते हैं. So that's why see, puzzles हर एक शिफ्ट में 2020, it means that 4 पैराग्राफ्स पजल्स के पूछे गए थे. 2 also if you see here, तो you could see that almost 5 to 6 paragraphs have been asked. Each paragraph is having 5 questions. So for all those students who are practicing puzzles regularly, it may seem like कि यार puzzles ही solve करूंगा and I'll clear the cutoff very easily. But the problem is puzzles are really very, very difficult, as I told you, and every section has a sectional timing. So that nobody has to forget. Sometimes it may be very easy to seem that let's solve only complex and huge questions like DI puzzles, so that in one shot I will clear the cutoff. But the problem is timing is there. You have to take care of that. Critical reasoning and logical reasoning, I always go for these questions. But what happens, the main problem is आप जब एग्जामिनेशन हॉल में रहोगे, when you are in examination hall, your answer will be different, and when you are out of examination hall, your answer will be different. This is the one of the worst thing about critical reasoning or logical reasoning. So now what is the solution? Practice more and more, challenge your answers. So when you're looking at the solutions, you have to challenge your answer, that why you felt that your logical reasoning answer was this, and why the answer in your test is wrong. Now, for quant and reasoning, many of the students will be saying that, sir, practice kahan kare? So I will tell you one thing. For RBI, SEBI, and NABARD, at Oliveboard, we already have started weekly free live tests. For NABARD, it is Wednesday and Thursday. For SEBI and RBI, it is Saturday and Sunday. So don't waste your time, guys. One single penny we are not taking. It's free registration. If you want to give NABARD phase 1 test, simple. Today is Wednesday. Register kar lo. The time is also ticking on the website. Tomorrow, day after tomorrow, 2 days, you are getting full 2 days to give the test. Similarly, every Saturday, Sunday, you should be thinking about RBI ka free Oliveboard ka test dena. Try to see where your rank is there, all India rank. Also look at your scores. You know, I don't need to tell you about the Oliveboard's quality of mock test. These are supreme in context of regulative, all exams in context of Oliveboard. Okay. So now I have also given you a solution for mock test. And then comes some simple topics like coding, decoding, inequalities, data sufficiency, alphabet test, blood relations. Now, blood relations, directions, these are such questions. Kitne bhi complicated hai, but we are having that knack that we can solve them. So if you are comfortable with such topics, you should solve them first. This would be my advice for all of you. Then syllogism, input, output, and miscellaneous. Now, one more thing I'll tell you. For each year, the question or the question pattern or the type of question. For example, let me give you an example. Let's take directions example. Okay, or let's take blood relations example. Every year, the type of the blood relation or directions which is asked, that may not repeat in the next year. So some year they may simply give you a diagram that A is standing at this position, then he does this direction C, D, E, F, G, and now tell where it's standing. This question may come in this year, but next year maybe they may ask you some very different and random question. So the only thing which you all are having in hand for quant and reasoning is that find out multiple types of each topic. So for data interpretation, how much types are there? For puzzles, how much types are there? For critical logical reasoning, how much types are there? For simple interest, compound interest, how much types are there? Time, speed, distance, how much types are there? For example, time and work, or time, speed, distance, where I'm talking about two trains running parallel, two trains running against each other. Such different types you have to solve. So I think with this we have discussed a lot of topics. For English, I don't need to discuss the topics here. यहाँ पर ही बता सकता हूँ. Just practice 4 topics: reading comprehension, clothes test, rearrangement of statements, and which of the part of the statements is wrong, or replacing those, that is fill in the blanks only, and rearrangement. That's it. These are the topics. I don't think English people would be having problem. So I think with this we will stop the session here. But before that, as I told you, here two things we have launched in these last days of your preparation. First is RBI Grade B Phase 1 GMCQ batch, which Lakshmi ma'am told you everything about. All the faculties of ours are bringing 2000 MCQs for all of you before your phase 1 exam. And for all of those who are not having resources for your current affairs, this PDF pack for regulatory bodies is already available. Have 6 months 3 magazine with you, revise them, and go for phase 1 exam. So thank you very much, and we will end the session here. Lakshmi ma'am, anything more you want to share?
So just one thing, that now students should not be wasting any further time.
Yes.
I feel 50% off is also going on.
It's 50% off is also going on because of the Independence Day on all regulatory bodies courses. So I think this is a great opportunity. During last days, 20-25 days, the intensity of the preparation is also very, very high. So whatever course you will be taking, you will definitely be utilizing that. And now that's why we have brought such courses or such supports to you, which, as Lakshmi ma'am said, these are having high ROIs. For example, just 3 magazines at $9.99, covering all 6-month current affairs. What more a student will be wanting? Similarly, in 40 to 30 lectures, if we are covering 2000 MCQs, then what do you require more? It is something like actually visually test we are trying to give you. So I think definitely students should utilize that. Okay, so we will end the session here. I think this was very important session for all of you. Again, I'll thank Lakshmi ma'am for bringing the most important topics were from, of course, current affairs and GA section only. So thank you for that, and we will end the session here.